The other thing is you have this Explorer tab. Now, the Explorer tab basically takes all that ugly HTML code, source code, that is behind the scenes, behind the building of this web page, that in order to traverse this in the past, again, we'd have to open up the browser developer console. Well, here, it's all cleanly visible in a nice, easy to read tree structure. And as you walk down and hover over each of these elements, you get the full information all in one place. There's the full XPath. Here's the text. Here's the tag name. Here's the href. No more guessing. No more having to go figure out how all this works. You can now just click and have everything in one place. You don't have to go guess. You don't have to go look. You don't have to go do the XPath lookup. Now, if you don't like the full XPath, you can always tweak it by using the locator here. So say, for instance, we wanted this one here. I could take this XPath. Oh, here's the other thing that's interesting. So let me click over here for a moment. If I hover over the image, if I go look at the three dots again, it tells me that this is an image tag. It now slightly changes my actions that I can do on the image tag to mostly what are image related actions. Validations, same validations. These really don't change. These are kind of default validations that can apply to almost any web element. Your attributes, so here's our attributes here as well. So I can copy this. I can highlight and copy it, or I can click here to save the element. I can copy to clipboard, or I can target. And if I target, it takes me straight to the locator. This is what I was trying to show you. So if we hover over the image, go to the three dots, go to attributes, go to XPath or ID. But if you click this little target, it takes us to the locator. So in here, I can actually manipulate the XPath real time now. So say I just wanted any image on the page. So I could do */image. And if I evaluate, it's going to return me all the images. So this is a very quick and clean way to also do all your XPath lookups for your tests. Again, we don't have to go look at that nasty console anymore. So if I actually wanted to view the console, so this was the old way of doing it. We would have to come in here, we would have to look at the DOM, we would have to then hit Control F, then we would have to come in here and do all this inside of here and maybe get what we need. We would also have to right click on the attribute or on the element. We would have to come down here to copy. All this goes away. All this is handled within the recorder, which is very cool, very powerful. All right, let me click a few more things so that we have a test. So if I go here, go to a blog, so we'll just click around a little bit, go to toys, risk, and now let's leave the site. So if I click this link, it should take me over to Amazon. So now I'm on Amazon. So here's the cool part. It is still recording our tests. So there's our little icon. So if I click my icon, it actually navigated and handled the switch to the new window. So if I actually stop the test right here, or actually, let me go back over. So now if I actually click back, it showed that I switched back to Windows 0. Yes, I closed it. So it even catches closing of the tabs. This is very cool. Otherwise, you'd have to loop through the windows, keep track of everything. All this is handled here for you. And then let me pause it. All right, so I now have my test. So I can also add steps manually. So you can add an alert, add a cookie, base64 encoding. You can do a whole, basically anything you want to do with Selenium or within a recorded step you can do here. All right, so say we want to test this, so let's hit run. So it's going to reset my browser to drwho.com. And then as you can see, briefly down in the window, it's going a little quickly, but it is showing you the steps that it's doing as it's clicking through the site. Now that is something that is kind of missing from the Selenium ID when it runs. You kind of have to watch over in the test. This is kind of cool here. So Element step 9 is missing, does not match. Don't worry, TestProject AI is looking for another path. So if it can't find toys, because remember, toys was hidden, it just built that AI to go click catalog to open up toys so that it could go to toys. So it automatically fixed the test for you. And then when you're done, it says, hey, what you did before didn't quite work the second time through. So instead, we reworked your test with this XPath to the actual element that you want. And if this is good, click confirm. If not, click cancel and go back and fix the test yourself. So you can click confirm, and we now have our test. So if I close my browser, I go back over here to my other browser window, and here is our Doctor Who test. So we can edit our test information here, we can run it, we can delete it, or we could move it to a folder, we could share this test with anyone, we can duplicate the test, we can save it to file, we can get CSV parameters, generate code. So, I did not talk about this yet. So one beautiful thing about TestProject is not only can you record your test, but you can also export your test type to any of these 3 languages. It supports Java, C#, and Python. It also supports Selenium, OpenSDK, and so you can select Selenium, you can select TestProject, and you could also select the browser. And then, so my first project, hit download. So it generated the code, save, zip file showing here, and here's our source. Project generated, test my first project. So we have a generated utilities and a generated Doctor Who's. So let me open up this guy. And if you're familiar with Selenium, it looks pretty close to a typical Selenium test. So here we are. Let's see, driver.manage timeout. So here we're setting our timeouts. Driver is instantiated in the setup. So we're using remote web driver. We're setting the options to Chrome. So typically what you would see in a normal Selenium test. But up until this point, we haven't even had to touch the code at all. All this was just done from within TestProject. So if I wanted to go in and actually run the test, I can run the test. Other thing too, so we can go look at our reports. We can see, okay, I ran Doctor Who stuff. Sorry, we ran my first test first. We have not run Doctor Who stuff yet. Because I ran it from within the test, it wasn't saved. But now if I go look here, okay, here's my old test. Yes, so this was the test that was run this morning. So now, if I go back over to my project, and I want to say run this test, so let's do Chrome headless, and let's do Firefox headless. Do next. That's fine. Let's run these in parallel. Run. Now let's go look at monitor. So you see we're now running Chrome, or it's preparing the test, but it's going to run Chrome and Firefox. Okay, it's done preparing. So it's kicked off Chrome. Chrome is running. Firefox might fail. I might not have that configured yet. So if you click the little hierarchy here, it will show you what's executing. And I think the reason it's not running in parallel is because I only have one agent running. If I install multiple agents, it probably would run multiple agents. Yep, so ideally, I think the reason these did not run multi-threaded or simultaneously is because I only have the one agent running. So if I install multiple agents, it can probably run as many browser stacks as you have agents. Finish. Also, while that's running, you can see up here at the top, we're currently running 1 test, 0 jobs, 2 tests running. We have 1 agent online, and now the test is done. So it's going to clean up. So now we can go look at our reports. There we go. Doctor Who, 100%, no failures. We can walk into that. We passed. I want to expand it out. There Go. So now more detailed view. So from the high level view, it just gives you the summary. If you want a more detailed view, you go into the report, and then here's the details, and here's the steps that were run. If it failed, you could click show me just the failed test, and it will show you the lines that failed. It tried to run them in parallel, did not work because I did not have enough agents, but it also tells you, hey, you had 100% test passage for Chrome and 100% test passage for Firefox. So that is TestProject in a nutshell. Does anyone have any questions on the TestProject application or even TestProject as a whole?
Can these numbers be used to determine pretty much the performance of the software or the website? Because I'm seeing good numbers there.
This is primarily for your functional tests of your system. If you want to do a performance type testing, you're still going to have to do some type of load UI or load testing of the application for performance. I have not gotten into anything specific with them, but I have not seen anything in their documentation referring to performance testing.
Yeah, because I was looking at the numbers, then I was like, So if it runs slow, that will it also record that? Like, for instance, if you're getting maybe the response back from hitting the server, maybe opening up a web browser or something like that. Will this tool be able to record that?
Yes. Well, oh, and that was one little piece I did not show. So if we jump back over here for a second, new questions would help. So if we go back into our project and we go into our test, if you click the little test tab here, here is your execution speed. So by default, it has a normal, but it has what's called this adaptive wait. So you can have it be very minimal. So like, hey, we expect this to run quickly. It may take a little bit longer, so you can switch it over to patient or very patient for long delays. And what this does is it starts to record that. It will start thinking about, okay, how long is it taking to run your test? And if you have to constantly run it over here, there might be a performance issue with your application. Like I said, I have not seen anything specific in TestProject yet that handles performance testing. This is primarily for functional testing.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you. Yeah. No,
No
I was
problem.
just looking at the numbers. That's all.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. So the reports do give you at least some high level of time it takes to run a test.
Gotcha.
And then, like, as you run it, it says, oh, okay, you had 33% failure, 67% failure. So no failures on this one. It ran once, total time run. So if you start seeing this time go up over time, then you know you might have an issue. I'd like to thank you all for your time today. If you'd like to discuss any of these topics further, be it testing, be it development, or even job related questions, please reach out to us. You can find us on info@developerner.com or go to our website, developerner.com/contact us. You can also find our videos on YouTube and Vimeo. Vimeo, we're at vimeo.com/developerner. And if you go to YouTube and search for Developerner in the search, you will find our videos. Our goal is making every developer better. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.